What is going on, guys? Gaston right here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about more confirmations about the Canon R5, specifically what we have learned about the 8K right after this intro. And thank you for coming back. And if you know, my name is Gaston. I'm a photographer. I do gear reviews, tutorials, and behind the scenes. So if you like the content that you see in this channel, make sure to subscribe to it and also hit that notification button to be notified every time a video goes up. And thank you for joining me back, guys. So we're gonna be talking about the Canon, the latest rumor for the Canon R5. Now we know that we have some specs confirmed by Canon. So why don't we start talking about those things that we know that the camera is going to have. And I have them right here because I don't wanna miss any of them. There are not many, by the way. So the first one is that the camera indeed is gonna shoot 8K full frame up to 30 frames per second. Now, there's no mention about 24p. We are assuming that if the camera is going to be able to shoot 30 frames per second, it should shoot 24 frames per second. But Canon is well known for crippling their product. They have done it before with the R. So we're gonna have to wait on that one and see if we can get more information in the upcoming dates. Now, the next thing that we know is that the camera is gonna be able to shoot the 8Ks with no crops in any of the mode that the camera is gonna have available. So again, this is being confirmed. We would have to see how this is going to be done. We would have to see the time of the recording. There is no rumor or not confirmation about the limit of recording of the 8K. Next feature that Canon talks and can confirm is that the camera is going to have the dual autofocus system that Canon is well known for. Apparently, this is going to be a revamped version of this dual pixel autofocus. Now, we would have to see how well this is going to perform in 8K. So for that, we would have to see until we get a unit in hand. Now, some of the rumors say that the camera is going to have an SD card and a CF Express. Now, we would have to see, but in my opinion, if the camera is going to be able to the 8K, which Canon actually has confirmed that it's going to be done internally, it would be really good to have dual CF Express card and really take advantage of that 8K. Now, some of the things that we don't know about that 8K is about the codec. We don't know if the camera is going to have some high bit rate, 10, 12. I mean, nobody knows about that. Now, this is very important because having 8K and having a bad quality 8K, it can really piss off a lot of people, and I'd rather have a camera with excellent 4K than a camera that's gonna have cripple or, pretty low quality 8K. So we would have to see for this one. I know that one of the cameras that had problem with the 8K feature was the Sharp camera, one of the latest Sharp camera that was released. I read and I've heard that some people tried the 8K and they were completely underwhelmed with the 8K capability of that camera. So will this be the case for Canon? Will they cripple the 8K? Will we have a version of the 8K that is going to be almost unusable? I don't know, but in my opinion, probably it's not going to be what everyone is expecting from Canon to introduce in this camera. Canon still have to actually protect the higher end cameras, and I think that we are gonna get some sort of 8K, but nowhere what everyone thinks that this is going to be. So another feature that Canon has confirmed is that this camera is also going to feature animal autofocus, which it allows you to track moving birds, cats, dogs, and all the pets that you have around your house. So this is actually pretty good, and it comes in line with what everyone else is doing. The first company to do that, if I'm not mistaken, was actually Sony. At least that's the first camera that I've seen available in my A7 III, which is the camera that I'm filming right now, and it works really, really good. Now, Canon is gonna introduce that. Of course, they wanna be on par with everyone else out there. We would have to see how well this animal autofocus is going to perform compared to the competition, such as, for example, Nikon and Sony. Now, there are a lot of unknowns with this camera. This is one of the Canon's most mysterious camera and probably most talked about camera for the past years. The other thing is that we don't know how the coronavirus situation is going to affect Canon and the production of the R5. We know that Canon had to shut down several factories for several days, and there are talks that those factories are actually going to be shut down for over a month. So we got to see how this coronavirus keep developing and how this is going to affect the entire camera industry. So hopefully Canon has some backups and we are going to be able to see this camera very, very soon. Now, what about the 4K capabilities of this camera? We mentioned in prior videos that this camera is going to be able to shoot up to 4K at 120 frames per second. However, we don't have additional information to know about the quality of this 4K neither. We don't know if the 4K is going to come with some crap. We don't know if the dual pixel autofocus is actually going to be part of the 120 frames per second. So there are a lot of unknowns, and in my opinion, I wish this camera can actually have some pretty robust 4K capabilities. I'm actually more excited for that than actually shooting in 8K. At least myself, I don't see myself shooting 8K anytime soon. So will the camera have 8K and probably an outstanding 4K? We will have to see again, and only time will tell. Now, the other thing for sure is that we know that Canon is going to be introducing 9 RF lenses. And one of the lenses that they're going to introduce is the 100 to 500 millimeter, which has an aperture of f4.5 to 7.1. It's going to be an L line of lens, and it's going to have a USM technology. Pretty interesting, 100 to 500 millimeters, f4.5 to 7.1. Also, it is confirmed that they're gonna have an extender, the 1.4 and the 2x extender. Now, let's talk about some of the confirmations that we have about this camera. The first one is that Canon is going to be introducing a brand new design CMOS sensor. Now, we don't know about the megapixel, but it's rumored that it's going to be a 45 megapixel in resolution. Now, the other thing that we know is that this camera is going to allow you to shoot at 20 frames per second when using the electronic shutter and up to 12 frames per second with a mechanical shutter. One of the most exciting things for me as a high-res shooter, photographer, and doing videos like this one is that this camera is actually going to have, for the first time in the Canon history, IBIS, in-body image stabilization. Yes, this camera is going to have that. But not only that, it's actually going to be allowed to be paired with lenses with image stabilization, giving you up to a stop of image stabilization. Now, that is a big leap forward in photography and video, because having such a capability on such a small size of camera, it is going to make my life, at least, and the life of many hybrid shooters, much more enjoyable, and not having to rely on gimbals to stabilize the footage. So IBIS plus lens image stabilization, incredible, and I can actually wait to get to play with one of the cameras and tell you guys how well this works, or perhaps it doesn't. So we'll see. Now, the fact that this camera is real or not, that is completely solved. This is a real camera. We have seen people holding the camera. Peter McKinnon actually had one the other day in one of his videos, but he hasn't shown anything with the camera. We haven't seen video from this camera. We haven't seen even pictures from the camera. So the rumors say that Canon was going to be releasing this camera for the Olympics in Tokyo. Now, as of the moment of this video, the Olympics are still happening, but everything is actually subject to this coronavirus and see how it's going to develop. Potentially, the Olympics could be canceled, and this could actually hurt Canon release. My question is this camera ready to go? I mean, why so much secrecy with the camera? Usually when we get specs, you know, we get a little bit more of information, at least when it comes to sensors, at least when it comes to more details. And as of right now, there's a lot of speculation, and in my opinion, I don't even know if this camera is actually coming now in 2020 with everything that's going on. So we will have to see what happens, see if Canon announces anything else, see if the rumors can actually get some more information. Now, take everything we say here with a grain of salt. Rumors are just rumor. Now, confirmation from Canon are confirmations, right? But a lot of the times, manufacturer may pull some of the claims because of a lack of time, because of a lack of technology to achieve specific features. So we will have to see what in reality this Canon R5 is going to bring. As far as 8K capabilities, I don't think that we're gonna see anything groundbreaking in here. I don't think that this camera is going to be a replacement for a much more expensive gear. And but again, this is some speculations, and until then, we would have to wait and see. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. Drop your comments down below. What do you think? Do you think that Canon is actually going to release this camera in 2020? Is the 8K going to be crippled? Yes, no? We'd love to hear your comments down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I see you again in another video.